The stream is live. Oh, my microphone's on. Whoops. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Out, out, out. Ollie, Ollie,
No,
Ollie.
you didn't.
Out, out, out. I did.
Oh my god. Okay.
Hi,
Wow.
everyone.
Very
Welcome to
professional.
Traffic Paradise Radio. I'm Uno, and joining me today is Immy, and in our
Hello.
hearts is Tay, who's going through a very difficult moment right now as an Australian, and is also taking a flight back to Tokyo, and someone is kicking the back of her seat. So our thoughts and prayers are with you, Tay.
Cool.
But yeah, as the graphic indicates, Doohan is done. It's not even a question mark anymore.
Well,
It
I don't
is
know.
a.
It would be nice to call it a question mark, I think. Let's be.
I mean, he's
let's be
done for
optimistic.
now.
Oh, for now. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh god. Well,
That's some intense optimism right there.
I'd like to be optimistic. let's all be optimistic. Okay, but here we are. So we've known, I think, for a couple days now, pretty much, and we've been waiting for the official announcement, as you always do. It's like BBC's reported, Canal Plus has reported, and we're all waiting for the shoe to drop. And here it is, today. God, I mean, any first thoughts, you know?
Expected, let's be honest. If you watched
Yeah.
our season predictions before the season started, we all said that Doohan would finish last in the championship because he wouldn't get a full season in and he would be kicked out before he even had a chance to kind of show what he could do. And at the moment, that seems about right. Obviously, where is he currently in the standings? Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I've got it. He's P19. So it's only
Who's
Gabriel
P20?
below. Gabriel.
So Gabby needs like what, a P12 or P11?
Yeah, something like that. It's
I think Doohan got a
something like
P12 at one stage.
Yeah, so maybe a P11, and he's good. I feel like I didn't put Jack last, which is bad for me. I don't remember.
Who did you put?
I might have put Gabby.
I mean, that's not a bad shout. It's still like to expect the Sauber to hit like P11 is still like.
I don't know. I think I had some optimism that maybe Alpine wouldn't be so cruel, but that was naive of me. So
ridiculous. Oh, my sweet summer child.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think something that's really interesting here is that Jack is staying on as a reserve driver. It's like a Red Bull swap, but instead of going to the junior team, you're back as a reserve. Well, you could say he's making the best of a bad situation. And if we go and look at some of the wording later from Flavio, it might actually be the correct way to go about it. But I feel like, why stay when the team's treated you so horrifically? I'd want to go. Just like take a break and then find some other employment. Like staying on as a reserve. Because I don't think he can do any FP1s either, because he's surpassed that amount of Grand Prix. So he's just, he's just going to be back there doing sim work, and that's not where he wants to be.
I mean, look, he's got the chance of like if Colapinto or Gasly are sick one weekend or something happens, he can jump in for a weekend or whatever. But yeah, I think it's very unlikely to happen. How are they in terms of appendices?
I think they both have them. But
okay, well, there he's got a chance then. There's a chance. There's a chance.
Knowing Flavio, I feel like he'd put Paul Aaron in the car instead or something. Like can't.
This is exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Colapinto is going to get his 6 races. so that Flavio can make the sponsors pay up.
Not even 6, it's 5.
5, sorry. Is that
Like,
until
not even a
summer break?
quarter. That's a really good question. I do not know, but probably. Because summer break is around the 10th, 11th race. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think, like, the way Alpine are going about this, it's somehow the cruelest. It's worse than Red Bull. It's worse than Williams. It's the cruelest because no other, I feel, driver has come into the sport instantly and their entire sort of career has been overshadowed by, oh, look, we think you have a 5-race contract. We think so-and-so is going to take your seat. Every race, it's when will he be out of the car? That's just not a way to develop as a driver. And you could think maybe times like Japan, where he was experimenting when he shouldn't have been, maybe that was born of him trying to be like, I have to show that I can do something different and good and productive because otherwise I'm out of the seat. Would he have made that mistake if he had a safe seat? I don't know, to be honest, because he was experimenting on the simulator. So he was trying to find lap time where there wasn't lap time. It just, they were setting him up to fail.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. I think, you know, the pressure that was on him as a rookie. Now, I will disagree somewhat and say, like, I think it's similar at Red Bull. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, even if it's not said out in the open, like, you know, if you're an Isaac Hadjar or a Liam Lawson, for example, if you're not performing at not necessarily Red Bull, but at the junior team, you are on, like, very thin ice when you go to that team. So I think it is comparable, you know, but
I mean,
it is
to an extent, right, though, because if you think, notably to me, the only, unless, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only mid-season swap at, like, AlphaTauri V-Carb I can think of is Nick de Vries. And he got 10 races. Of course, and I feel like when you're signing up to Red Bull, you're signing up to a vicious, ruthless program. When Jack was there at Alpine, it only got really bad when Flavio came along, right? When Red Bull, it's like, you know, you have to perform and you sort of have to have a mental fortitude to know this. And it is, like you said, it's more private, that sort of thing. Whereas Jack's situation has been very much from day one in the public eye. Rumors about his contract length, rumors about Franco being signed, you know, everything. It's been in the public eye from day one. And so have the Argentinian fans. Like, there's a clip of him, I'm pretty sure, from Miami. He stood for the national anthem, and across in the stands are a bunch of Argentinian fans taunting him. That's got to add another layer, right? And I mean, I don't want to get too into that, right? Because that's pretty messy, but it's just, it all piles on to an extent.
I'll get into that. Okay. Those fans need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, they really do. Because as much as that could happen to Doohan, it can happen to Colapinto as well. I know when he first came in, he was like points and everyone was like, oh, he's so much better than Logan. And then the mistakes started creeping in. And there were, like, red flags that he caused, and he was out of races, and not just once, you know, it happened a few times. And so there is, I think, perhaps a naivete amongst his fan base that this isn't going to happen to him. You know, and he doesn't have that sort of, he doesn't have that time in the sport that warrants extra opportunities, you know. Ricciardo didn't amaze people when he came back to AlphaTauri. He had that one good performance, I think it was Mexico in 2023. And then he had one or two interesting, like the Miami Sprint, for example. You know, he got given time because he had a history both within the Red Bull family and in the sport. He was given more time. Colapinto doesn't have that. And so the patience for him to develop, to learn, to, you know, and the grace he will be given is going to be very different. And I think you just have to look at someone like Liam Lawson to understand how short that leash is in terms of grace. I don't know if that metaphor makes sense, but yes, you know, Lawson got 2 races, essentially 2 race weekends. It was two main races and a sprint to prove himself, and Red Bull were like, no, sorry, not good enough, bye, you know. And I would imagine. I mean, it says what? I mean, this is from Alpine for the next 5 races.
They've
It's not
confirmed
even a rumor. It's like Alpine has
this
said.
This isn't something they did with Doohan. They didn't put a number on it, but they very much so have with Franco, which I think is kind of insane.
I think they did put a number on it because we always heard Miami. That was always like the rumor.
But it was the rumor, right? It wasn't ever like.
But like, I'm pretty sure they told Doohan that. You know, but this is very different to be like, we're telling the whole world, Franco, because again, this sort of puts his fans on notice to be like, if your guy doesn't perform, he's not going to be here after summer break. And, you know, there is Paul Aaron waiting in the wings. And who was there was a guy, he moved to McLaren? No.
I think Haas.
Yeah. So
he's been hopping.
Because didn't he also drive for McLaren at one point?
He was McLaren end of 2024, and then he signed for Alpine and did an FP1 with them, Japan, I think. I think it was Japan. Mm-hmm. And then he ended his contract with Alpine and signed for Haas. Sure. He's getting
around it. Yeah. So I mean, and it's not just there's a couple more waiting in the wings at Alpine. That's one thing. They've got a lot of juniors. They're kind of in like a Red Bull situation when it comes to juniors, where they have a lot of talent that's just chomping at the bit to get onto the track and to actually prove themselves. And I think Paul Aaron is obviously a notable example of that, because he had a very competent F2 season last year. He was still in the fight for the championship up until the second last race or the last race. I know he was quite far off, but he was still mathematically in the hunt, you know. And so he's competent, you know. And, you know, Franco hasn't driven for a while now, you know. I suppose as much as Paul Aaron hasn't driven, I guess. So I always want to call him Aaron Paul for some reason, but I think that's someone completely different.
And I feel like that's an actor, maybe.
Isn't that the dude from Breaking Bad? Or am I?
Yeah.
It is, right? Yeah. Science, bitch.
I mean, it's kind of annoying to me that Franco got pulled out last year, because I'd love to compare their Formula 2 seasons. And I know Formula 2 isn't really a good way to compare a lot of stuff, Mechachrome, etc. But it's still sort of a metric. Right? Yeah. But we just can't. Like, you can do it to a point. And, like, I can't pull them up. I can't pull up the seasons. But,
it's okay.
Yeah, it seems like, especially, this is just such a ruthless environment, because, I mean, keep in mind, Flavio is Jack's manager. Like, the fact that you can manage a guy and manage him out of his seat at your team. Like, if you look at that on paper, you think, oh, your manager is also an advisor at the team. That seems like that's a seat. You've got it. Congratulations, done and dusted. You don't have to do anything. But no, he's like kicked him out basically, because all of a sudden Franco seems like a better prospect, and seems, because how much, like, oh my god, you can test, but it's not about. It's about how you perform on track at the end of the day. And while both have had crashes, I feel like Franco maybe a little bit more. Like Miami, you can't say was Jack's fault.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think that's fair. I also feel like the Williams at the end of last season was a better car than the Alpine is now.
Absolutely.
And I know that's hard to compare because it's different seasons and different tracks,
but I totally agree with you.
But yeah, I feel like they're not the same cars. So I mean, even Gasly has struggled quite a bit this season, you know, and he's an extremely competent, very talented driver.
He can qualify P4, P5 in a dry qualifying session. He has extreme talent, but the car this year has, I mean, you can't say gone backwards, because I feel like the only one that has done that is Aston Martin, but they haven't gone forward at the rate that a car like Williams has. Like,
I mean,
and that's what
Williams has just outperformed everyone else in terms of development, like in terms of where they were and where they are now. Absolutely.
So we have a statement here as well from Flavio, who says, having reviewed the opening races of the season, we have come to the decision to put Franco in the car alongside Pierre for the next 5 races. Yet again, very 5. You've got 5. With the field being so closely matched this year and with a competitive car.
Lies.
Sure, competitive. Which the team has drastically improved in the last 12 months. We are in a position where we see the need to rotate our lineup. And I think that's also something to think about, rotate. Do you think he'd rotate it back if Franco didn't do well? Maybe that's why Jack's staying. Because it's not like, not switch, not swap, rotate. Like it can, we can go full circle. We also know the 2026 season will be an important one for the team, and having a complete and fair assessment of the drivers this season, also interesting, right, is the right thing to do in order to maximize our ambitions next year. We continue to support Jack at the team as he has acted in a very professional manner in his role as a race driver so far this season. The next 5 races will give us an opportunity to try something different, and after this time period, we will assess our options.
So that tells me a few things. I feel like Jack is being kept mostly because they've already probably paid him for the season, so might as well get his sim work, and you've put the money in, you might as well get the value out of it. But yeah, like if Franco shits the bed, for lack of a better term, like they can bring Doohan back in. But also that implies to me that Paul Aaron is still very much in the running for a drive this season. And that what they're trying to do is they're trying to put together the best pairing, ostensibly with Pierre Gasly, although like
if he has a bad race, he's gonna have to be looking in his mirrors.
I mean, like there's 2 rules in Formula One. In order to finish first, you must first finish, and never trust Flavio Briatore.
Yeah,
like those are the 2 rules of Formula One. And like Pierre, I do think he would land on his feet if he were let go there. But I can definitely see them letting him go, not for performance reasons, but for financial reasons, because he's too expensive and they're trying to cut costs. And they're going to be like, well, if we have Paul Aaron and Franco Colapinto, okay, they're not going to cost us anything. In fact, we're going to be making money because of Franco's sponsors. I don't know if Paul Aaron has sponsors.
Maybe,
I'm not sure.
Probably some, just maybe not to the extent of like monetary power.
And they would sort of say, because I do think there is this aim that this is not about doing well in 2026, but it's about selling for 2026. Team.
Oh, absolutely.
And they want to be able to have the team set up in such a way that the costs are low. That's why they've reduced production of certain things. So we're not going to be building our own engines. We're not going to be doing all of these things. We're just going to buy engines from Merc. So the sort of I'm not very good at like business terminology, but like the cost of like building shit is down, so you don't have to pay, it's things like you don't have to pay the rates and taxes on the building where you build the engine. You don't have to pay the electricity costs at the building where you build the engine. All that is carried by Merc, and you just pay a one-time fee for the engine. And then on top of that, Merc might say, well, we have this junior driver we would like you to give a seat to. So now Merc is paying. So now that's one driver already that they don't have to worry about. Merc is essentially paying for them. And maybe they get a little, like an extra engine out of the deal or whatever. Then they got another driver, Franco Colapinto, for example, who's paid for already, to present that to investors or to potential buyers and say, look, we've got a team already set up. The infrastructure is there. The parts that we can make, we make. The parts that we don't want to make to save costs, we can buy from here. And to sweeten the deal, we've got this and this. Now, all of a sudden, it becomes a much more interesting offer to buy for, or maybe for a, what's it, Ryan? Is it Ryan Reynolds? Is that the dude? Deadpool dude?
Yeah. I don't think
Maybe
he'd
he
buy the
wants,
whole thing though.
no, but maybe he wants to invest more money now, and then Alpine sells
Sure.
another bit of their stake, and it's going to be. I think that's what they're aiming for here. Like, how do we make this team as profitable as possible? So even if we're not winning races or even getting podiums, we're still turning a profit so that someone wants to buy us. And I think this has become an entirely a business decision, not a sporting one. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was a seat we were joking about, what if they just kept switching out the drivers for fun and evaluating them? It might have been the Red Bull. I don't remember. But that sort of seems like what they are doing, though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if I'd put money on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if after the summer break we saw Paul Aaron in the car. Like, just to let's try all of our reserves out and see who's the best for next year. Like,
I mean, there's 24 races in the season,
yeah.
correct? So after Colapinto has done his, we've had 5 so far, or 6?
6.
So then Colapinto has 5, that's 11. That leaves you with another 13.
Oh no, that is 11. I can't do math.
That leaves you with another 13. Then let's say they give Paul Aaron another 5. That makes it 8 races left. And maybe that last 8 races is, okay, whoever was better between Colapinto, Doohan, and Aaron gets to drive for the rest of the season.
Yeah. It could be like that.
I
could get more experience now.
I can see that.
Yeah. It seems, the fact to me that they are just so not certain about this, they're very much so putting, here's a deadline, here's when we're making a decision, makes it seem like they're not putting all their stock in Franco. And it's not like at Williams, Logan was gone, this is our driver for the rest of the season. Like, no time limit, no nothing. It's just 5 races and we're going to assess. Like, it's weird. I don't know how to feel about this.
I mean, and I think that weirdness that you're feeling, maybe, I don't know what's next on the slide. I haven't seen the slideshow, but I'm feeling it might be about Ollie Oakes.
Yeah, I mean, I made a bad slide, but we sort of talked about this already, so I'm going to breeze past it and enjoy my really...
I love how Doohan look. He's like, what the fuck, bro?
But yes, here we are.
So that weird feeling, I think, has contributed to what I think is a far bigger story of the day, is that Ollie Oakes has left the team. He has resigned with immediate effect from team principal. That's huge.
It's big.
That's big.
Though I feel like you can really say that although Ollie has been the team principal, ever since Flavio has come in, he's really been the team principal. Like,
yeah.
I don't think Ollie's been making that many decisions, and I think that's a part of why he's left.
Absolutely. You're being sold this idea of come to Alpine, lead the team, and then just before you actually start your job, all of a sudden here's Flavio Briatore, who's back on the scene and stirring the pot, And I mean, we already saw some of Flavio's dirty work last season when it came to Esteban Ocon and how he treated him. The fact that it was so cruel. They took away his final race with the team. I'm sorry, Esteban Ocon is like the only driver that's won a race for that team in like a gazillion years. Yeah. He is like, he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye to like the people at the factory and stuff, So already we started to see like that toxic Flavio Briatore energy seeping into the team. And I think now this season it's just ramped up.
It's bad.
And Ollie Oakes has just said, I'm good, bro. I don't need to be here.
Yeah, and genuinely that stuff with Ocon was such a red flag, because what did anyone gain from all of a sudden putting Jack in the car a race early? Jack didn't really gain anything because it was so sudden. It was just cruel for Esteban. He had a special helmet. He'd had a hard time that year with the team. Obviously, they probably, Flavio, etc., had sort of made it clear that he wasn't wanted anymore. And despite that, he still cared for like his mechanics. Everybody in his side of the garage, and probably Pierre's too, because he is a nice person and he cares for the people who work with him. So he wanted to say goodbye, and he had that beautiful special helmet that he didn't get to wear because he obviously had no clue this was happening. You don't commission a special helmet to not race the last race with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was an incredibly last-minute thing, and for no reason seemingly apart to be like, oh, it's so he can do the end of season Haas tests. Was it though? They blocked him from that so that they could do this. It's just, and nobody gained anything from it. And here we are again.
Not even Doohan, I think, because Doohan was thrown in at the last race of the season into a car he probably hadn't driven for like months. Maybe he did like 1 or 2 tests, off-season tests, or like a filming day, a tire test somewhere here or there. But other than that, like hasn't driven the car. Everyone on track has been driving their car, if not the whole season, at least for a few races, like in the case of Colapinto. And he didn't stand a chance. He didn't stand a chance at that track. So why put him in? Like, you're just going to embarrass the guy. You're going to like dent his confidence. And now,
honestly,
what did you achieve from that? To me, it's just like, it might be like a very like obvious point, but Flavio Briatore is like a narcissistic fucking sociopath. Like,
he's just playing mind games.
Yeah, he just uses people because he feels there might be some benefit to him. And I think there's clearly some sort of financial incentive for him in this, like obviously he's being paid a salary of some kind, but I think there's also like if you sell the team for X amount of money, you get X percentage of it. So I'm sure he's motivated by that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just, I'm so bummed that they actually brought him back. The man is like a stain on the sport, and he's just vile. Oh.
I'm really hoping he's temporary. I mean, I don't think that's going to be the case, but this saying he's assuming the responsibilities, not that he is the team principal. I'm hoping, like, against hope and logic, that it's not a long-term thing. And if it is, I'm hoping that the team sells tomorrow. Like, because somebody else isn't going to want him.
Yeah, I mean, but you've already kind of pointed out that he was the de facto team principal.
It was in everything but name, but at least it wasn't in name, because it sounds worse now, a lot. Like, beforehand, it was just, oh, he's advising, and you can sort of push it out of your mind, right? But now it's the team principal of Alpine.
Yeah. It's... I will never understand why the decision to throw him out of the sport was reversed, okay? He clearly instigated the Crashgate scandal. He clearly instructed his driver to crash his car. He put his driver's life and like body on the line so that they could get like a random win, like that has now forever been tainted, and all of that for like, it's not even like his team was like in the running for anything that year, they weren't championship contenders. Alonso wasn't a championship contender. Like, they had no chance of winning anything. So, you could understand if it's like, oh, you're like battling for a championship, you might decide to do like a really stupid thing because you believe that like winning is all important. But like, you weren't winning fuck all that season. So why would you risk that? It was just purely for the glory, and that's like, it's sickening.
I'm pretty sure that it got overturned because the FIA were just bad about their investigation. It's like, you can get a case thrown out of court if the evidence is bad or collected wrong. I think it's that kind of thing. He did it, but the action against him wasn't done correctly, something like that.
Fair enough. Like,
but he has done it, right?
Problematic prosecutions, whatever. But like, why did Alpine bring him back? Like, Alpine knew he did it. It was their team. It was Renault. It's like, they knew what happened, and they still brought him back.
I feel like a lot of people higher up probably really respect him, to be honest. Like, he has this sort of aura about him. I don't like it, right? It really creeps me out. But a lot of people probably think, oh, he's so good at building a team, building up drivers, putting stuff together, whatever, right? And I don't know. I wouldn't ever pick that, right? But there's some reason. I feel like maybe he's like Marmite. But you either hate him or you love him.
Like that. Don't insult Marmite like that. Like, come on. Have some respect. Look, I mean, you know, if you had to cast a movie and you wanted if you were like doing a very stereotypical like criminal underworld, like grotesque, just vile creature, you would cast Flavio Briatore. It's that simple. You would.
Yeah.
He's that vile of a person. And I just feel like, I forgot to even check comments today. Do we have any? Uno is just crying. Is that, what did I say? Oh, okay. I think
that was when you were chanting at the start.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's like a caricature of what a like just a bad person would be, you know, like bad on every level. Just, it doesn't, like, even the way he dresses is just so like, it just gives you
the way he presents himself,
hanging on to like supermodels, and you're just like, please save them, please.
The way he speaks, like him in DTS last season, I control you every millimeter.
It's like the one part of DTS that I don't think was like edited unfairly and like made to be more dramatic. No, I totally believe like everything that was there. They just ran the camera and said, we're good.
Genuinely evil. And Jack looked like, what the hell have I gotten myself into? Zeph says that he gives grimy Gotham vibes. Yeah.
Would be a villain in Batman. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pretty good.
Absolutely. Yeah. He does. He's like the Penguin but the Colin Farrell version, not the Danny DeVito version.
That's good.
Like,
that's good.
Yeah. Like Danny DeVito is like at least charming and like endearing and like a very grotesque penguin, literal penguin way with his like weird hand thing going on. But like, so have you ever seen that movie where Danny DeVito is the Penguin?
I have not, but I at least know what Danny DeVito looks like. So that's
okay. Imagine Danny DeVito as a literal penguin, because those old Batman movies, they were very literal. When it was like the Penguin, he was a literal, well, he wasn't a literal penguin, but like he had deformities and stuff. Like he had a very long nose and he had like penguin hands and he lived in the sewer with a bunch of penguins. Like they were very like on the nose with how they portrayed their villains. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I really think we sort of touched on this, but I do really think that Ollie has resigned because he didn't agree with Jack being switched out, dropped, whatever you want to say, turned around in a spirally circle, whatever they're doing. Because in the media, publicly, Ollie has been very like supportive of Jack. Like, we're not going to drop him. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. We're going to let him grow. He's doing a good job. Because I rate Ollie quite highly. He just, I mean, if we're just going to do it on like a battle of the vibe, right? Ollie seems really lovely, and Flavio is like evil incarnate.
So Christian Horner seems slightly likable next to Flavio Briatore.
Genuinely.
Like, genuinely. Oh, he's not so bad after all. I mean, he's still a horrible person, but like next to Flavio, he seems lovely.
Oh, I can see like a nice quality, singular. But no, Flavio is just evil, and like Ollie seemed to genuinely care and not treat their drivers like somebody you can just switch in, switch out. Like, he cared about Jack's development, and you know, he was in Formula 2 being a team principal at the start of last year, so he obviously works closely with drivers who are going up the ladder, and that, I'm sure, is a very stressful situation. Like, it's just, he didn't agree, and he had obviously no say in the matter. Even as the team principal, he had no say. So it's like, great, I'm not needed here then. Bye. Valid. I'd do it.
Yeah, I just like, it's so weird to me. I don't know if this is even a point worth making, but like, I wonder, like, how, because obviously, like, okay, like we've already spoken about Ryan. I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah. It was going really well.
Okay. Sorry. I'm back. I was wondering, like, how does someone like Ryan Reynolds feel about being associated with someone like Flavio Briatore? Because that's not good for his brand, you know?
You know what I'm going to say
it
to
does
that?
sort of...
Though you have to be really, like, in a Venn diagram to understand the link from Ryan Reynolds to Flavio. The average person who's a fan of Ryan Reynolds and the average person who's a fan of Formula One either don't know that Ryan has a stake in Alpine. That's it. They don't know, because I feel like that's not super common knowledge. Like, I mean, either you've watched DTS and actually taken it all in, right, and seen Ryan Reynolds on in the episode. But like I feel like a lot of F1 fans don't watch DTS because it's more of a show for non F1 fans, pretty much. I feel like that's fair to say.
Oh, God, I just remembered that. Who's that makeup artist? That went to like Red Bull's garage last year?
James Charles.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh my God, I've watched all the seasons of F1, like season 1, season 2, season 3," and I was just like, "Girl, like, no, you are doing the gays so dirty. Like, come on, please. Like, there are a lot of us here who have been watching for decades, and you are embarrassing the shit out of us. Like, please stop." I was just like, I can't.
Yeah, well, exactly. And then most fans of Ryan Reynolds, like, watch his films, see him go to like a red carpet or whatever, and don't know what he's investing in. So I feel like to him, unless Flavio gets himself in another scandal, because also Crashgate was so long ago that I feel like a lot of people don't remember it. In the general public, no, not at all. They'd have no idea. They wouldn't link it at all. Especially it's Alpine, not Renault now. Like, there's even less link. So unless Flavio does something else, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, right? I wouldn't trust him. Then keep your share.
Let's just say if Pierre gets a podium and Franco DNFs, everyone's going to be asking questions. Everyone, and it won't matter if Franco was like, if someone drove into the side of Franco and he had nothing to do with it, people will still be asking questions, because
like Flavio talked to that other driver to drive into Franco or something.
Like, can you imagine if Alonso is the one who crashes into Franco? It'll be such a scandal. Oh my God, it will be such a scandal.
Yes. Yeah, it's not, I don't know why the team's done it. It's not a good look. It can never be a good look. That's just like something you can't come back from. You may have been legally cleared. It's not something you can come back from. Like, in the eyes of the, well, I was about to say the general public, but no, I've been over that. In the eyes of the F1 fan. Finally, we have one more point, which is how Christian Horner links into all of this. Beautiful. So Red Bull have upgrades coming in Imola, and these upgrades are paramount to Christian Horner's future. He is being doubted, and I say it's about time. Really should have been from the start of last year. He should have been doubted, but
go watch our video, Red Bull Civil War. It's our most popular video. If you just go into our videos, click
I'm saying
popular.
It might have a link down below. We don't, but yeah,
no, we don't.
Watch
we don't
it.
think
it's very good.
Like that. And we go into detail as to why Christian Horner should not be at Red Bull. So have a watch there if you are in any doubt as to why he shouldn't be there. And yeah, you will see why we feel the way we feel. We won't go into all the details here, but yes, he's problematic individual.
It has been reported, and I'm not going to try any of the names, but the Thai side of the company that owns 51% are starting to doubt him and not support him. So I feel like the Austrian side, I hope that's the right country. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Maybe do still support him, but then 51%, 49%. No.
No.
It's the Thai side that supported him.
the Thai side supports
so that's
Horner.
bad.
The Austrian
That's
side
bad
does not
then.
like Horner. The Austrian
Okay,
side
so
is
then
Marco and Max, and then Horner is backed by the Thai side.
so he's kind of so I thought it was like 50% bad, but it's like 100% bad now.
I mean, yeah. So, and the thing is that the Thai side owns 51%, the Austrian side owns 49%. So even if the Austrian side goes 100% of their input against Horner, they don't have the necessary. So all they need is for a little bit of doubt to creep in on the Thai side, and they can start to really push for Horner to be replaced. And Horner's been there for ages. So
like 20 years now.
It could be it's a very easy argument to be like, hey, he's taken us as far as he can. It's time for some fresh blood. It's time for like a new way of thinking. We've seen the development has gone the wrong direction. We've seen that our, we lost the the Constructors Championship last year. Like, it's time for a change. Like, that momentum has definitely shifted against Horner now.
Who might that fresh blood be? Might be Ollie Oakes. I'd support it. I think so. I'd love that outcome. Everyone I like gets away from Alpine, and Red Bull no longer has an insufferable team principal. Yay! Well, I guess Marco would still be kicking, theoretically. But, who knows? I feel like we've lost Uno again. Oh, no. Maybe. Yeah, kind of.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Good. But yeah, that seems to be the situation. So we'll need to keep an eye on their performance in Imola. Red Bull were good in Imola last year, and I think but that was obviously last year, something to benefit them is that Imola is a really hard track to overtake on. I don't know if I'm right in comparing it to Japan, but if Max can push that car to pole, which he has been very good at doing, then that might be a very good outcome for him.
Imola is an older track, and it's a little bit narrower than some of the more modern, like, purpose-built tracks. So it is a little bit difficult to pass there. If I remember correctly, last year, the only notable pass was like Yuki on Logan Sargent at some point.
I remember that, yeah.
So, and like, it was literally like one of the highlights of the race. So it is very difficult to pass there. But yeah, you were going to say what Zeph just said, because I think it's a very interesting question.
Yeah. How would Horner leaving affect Yuki for this season and a potential contract for next season? See, if you were to ask me this a while ago, I'd say, oh, it's good because Christian doesn't like Yuki, but his tone, at least in the media, has changed substantially. But I think that's also because Red Bull are very good at backing their driver when they have them. That's something that Red Bull excels with. They will bat away any bad media until it's basically you've dug yourself the grave and you're lying in it, right? But I think if we get a proper, like, kind team principal, and I mean, it's not just the team principal that makes these decisions, but somebody who can see logic and reason and doesn't have these political biases. But I mean, I feel like Red Bull's always going to be a place with politics. That 51-49 is going to stay for a long time, but a team principal that isn't so, like, involved in that would be good. I think if we have somebody like Ollie Oakes come in and Yuki is performing, because he's getting better, he's learning the car, who knows what it will be like in Abu Dhabi? I think great, right? Then I think that's a good sign for him and his contract.
Yeah, I also feel like if they got rid of Horner, and if Max decides to go, Yuki is basically, he's the only constant then.
Yes. Oh yeah. If Max goes, Yuki's absolutely got a seat.
Like, I could totally see like a Yuki George lineup for next season. I could totally see a Yuki who, I mean, even Pierre, I could see them bring, or Alex,
Alex, I don't think Alex is going to go back to Red Bull because they asked him at the start of the year and he basically told them to piss off.
Yeah, with Horner.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I feel like if there was a significant shift in, as you say, the politics are always going to be there, but at least in the problem with Horner is that I mean, I know I've already said this about Flavio Briatore, but he is also a narcissistic sociopath. So he will use people to his own ends, and and people just get swept to the wayside when they're no longer useful to him. But if Max were to go, and all of a sudden now there's like this power vacuum, whoever steps into that vacuum would dictate the sort of the character and ethos of Red Bull for at least the medium-term future. And if it is someone who's more about uplifting their drivers, supporting their drivers, and falling on the sword when it is not the driver's fault, because we've seen the opposite of that when it came to Checo. They blamed Checo and then after the fact admitted, actually, no, it was the car. Checo was right all along.
Yeah.
Fix your damn car. Like Checo was right the entire time. And they threw him under the bus when it was useful to them, and then quickly backtracked when it became clear with Lawson that it is really the car. And Lawson doesn't have the experience to help us fix the car. So now we got to bring back Yuki. We got to bring Yuki in after we said that he's basically useless to us and needs to find a new team next season, because really, what's the point in keeping him around? Now, all of a sudden, it's, oh, Yuki, you are a savior. Please come help us with your like expert technical knowledge, even though last year we said that you have none and that you're like a terrible person and you have no value to the team. Now all of a sudden we're relying on you to give us feedback so that we don't fucking finish 5th in the championship, and it's like come on, bro, come on.
Yeah,
like it's so clearly the car is a problem, and Yuki's not performing like at like a maximum level at the moment, but he's performing better, and there is definite like nothing concrete. No one's came out and said, oh, Yuki has saved the team or anything, but you can see there are improvements happening week on week when it comes to like how that car is performing, especially with Yuki. And like the new floor and stuff maybe wasn't ideal, but it did. I mean, Max was good in quali. The race pace wasn't quite there, but even Yuki's race pace with Max with the new floor was only like 4/10 off. And then if you consider that it's a new floor, maybe giving an extra 10th or 2, like all of a sudden Yuki's 2/10 off Max Verstappen. Like he's developed.
That's a good margin.
He's getting there, and that means that the car is getting there, because the car was not there at the beginning of the season, nor was it there at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So like, but again, it's because Horner was never thinking about what was best for the team. He was thinking about what was best for him. And best for him was to sort of build a wall around Max Verstappen so Max never feels threatened. And then to sort of use that power dynamic within Red Bull to cast blame wherever it needs to be, and to play that political battle. And I mean, Helmut Marko does that too. He also he tries to keep Max on his side and play those political battles. We all know Helmut Marko leaked the texts, whether or not he asked Yuki to show him how a Google Drive works or not. We all know that Helmut did that, or at least was partly responsible for that. So that dynamic is within Red Bull, and basically Helmut Marko is gonna he's old, okay? He's either gonna retire, get sick, or die. And that might sound cruel and mean, but it's the truth, okay? So
I mean, yeah.
He's not going to be around forever, and then it's just Horner. And then you no longer have that other element fighting against Horner. Now Horner's got complete control. So if you are like a Red Bull executive, you want to address that before it's too late.
Yeah. Zev also says, if nothing changes and both Horner and Max stay, does Yuki stick around and hope for a contract, or will he be talking to other teams already? I feel like he respects Red Bull, and I hope that wouldn't get in the way of his future, because I don't trust Horner to keep Yuki even if he improves. I think, yeah, that is much more debatable. If I were Yuki, I mean, he has that better manager, which I think is going to help him tenfold, because last year, no help there.
Mario
Diego, good manager, finally, right? They will be talking to other teams. It's stupid to not. You'd see even drivers in top teams that pretty much it's like, oh, we're going to give you another contract. They'll still talk around, because it is the smart thing to do. You want to see all your possibilities, see what's going on. Just have a handle on it just in case. I think for them to keep Yuki, if Max stays and Horner stays and everything stays the same, it's going to be harder. I wouldn't be as sure of it, but I think if Yuki continues on his upwards trajectory, gets to at least P8, rather higher in the Drivers' Championship, gets a podium or two, it gets to the point Yuki has to prove that he can use this car to get good results, because I don't know if Red Bull are going to be dumb enough to make the same mistake where something really good is staring them in the face and they pick the worst option, because that's what happened with Liam. Comparably, them in the V Cup, Yuki, I think, was better. Mind, there wasn't a lot to compare, right? But then you think experience, etc., etc., and they went with Liam anyway, and it really shot them in the foot a bit, and they had to be like, no, actually, we're rolling this back. We were wrong. I don't think that's never something that Christian Horner wants to put on display, that we were wrong, that I was wrong, because famously, narcissistic.
Also, they're also like, I would hope, have learned, like, Isaac is doing very well at VCARB. Okay, don't get me wrong, he's doing very well. He's not ready for Red Bull. He's just not.
Exactly.
Okay? And that's nothing against him. It's just you don't put. I mean, even someone like Antonelli, okay, who's seen as this like generational talent, and I mean, you know how I feel about that term, so I'm not even going to go into it. But like, he's not perfect at Merc. You know, he makes mistakes. First lap of that sprint, you know, there's things that he does wrong, and so he needs that time to learn. Oscar was the same. His first year at McLaren, there were mistakes, there were pace issues, there were qualifying issues, you know, things that take time. But now, when Oscar joined McLaren, they were not a top team. You know, they were like at best a midfield team. So he had that space to practice and learn and grow, and it benefited him so well. So now we look at like an Isaac Hadjar, and remember also that Franz Tost is still in the mix at Red Bull in an advisory sort of upper capacity, and his like sort of
I was just going to bring that up.
His ethos was always like, give them 3 years before you put them in Red Bull. So you've got exactly. Isaac, maybe 2 years now, you know, maybe F2 is developed enough that they only need 2 years. I can understand that argument too, because like Oscar's, this is his 3rd year, right?
Yeah, if I was about to say, let's use Oscar as an example.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm saying that. But look, first year, he had race pace issues, tire issues, qualifying issues. Second year, his race pace improved, his tire management improved, qualifying issues were still there. He wasn't perfect, but he was putting in good performances sometimes. Now, his race pace has improved even more, his tire management is great, and his qualifying is really consistent. 3 years. He's only just started his 3rd year, keep in mind. So really, that is more like 2, right? But at least 2 years of solid development, when Oscar hasn't really had that worry since he's been at McLaren that they might drop him. He's had those long contract extensions. He's had that sort of integration into the team and knowing that they care about him and he cares about them. That's something McLaren, I think, is really good at, is, well, maybe not with Daniel Ricciardo, but nurturing their drivers, right? Because, I mean, him and Lando are on contracts until in the future, right? That's never been a doubt for them now. And so you need to be able to nurture them, because, like Kimi, for example, his qualifying, he has pace already. He's there with that. But his race pace and his tire management, that's stuff that can only come with experience. So you put somebody like Liam in the Red Bull on top of having to figure out his qualifying pace, his race pace, his tire management, all of that he has to learn. He's also having to learn how to control this car that's on a knife edge. It's too much. It's too much to do. Whereas Yuki, he has tire management down, he has race pace down, he has qualifying down, because he's been in the car for so many years that he knows how to do that. Of course, he's sort of having to relearn it to an extent with the Red Bull, because it is so, the window for operation is so narrow, and he has made mistakes. But like, that's an experienced driver doing that. That's why Liam was at the back P20, because he was having to juggle too many things.
He was having to learn how to drive as a Formula One driver whilst learning how to drive the Red Bull car. Whereas now Yuki is just learning how to drive the Red Bull car, you know, and I feel like that learning, you know, as it's been said a lot, that car is designed for Max and Max alone. and it's to its detriment because it's been designed in such a way that even Max is now struggling to deliver in that car because it was designed to such a fine margin of performance that, you know, if Max is even slightly off his game that day or the setup isn't 100% correct, Max can't do anything with that car, you know. And I think to maybe keep on what Zeph is asking here, I think Max's struggles in the car help Yuki.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not that Max is winning a driver's championship. And, you know, I know that might sound different to what I've said in all the other live streams. So I'm like, watch for Max. But like, he's not at the moment, you know, and he's not winning the races. He's won one race this year. It was a lucky shot because McLaren were far faster than him. And I think McLaren just had a very conservative strategy to make sure they came home with the points. Fair enough, you know, but like, in all fairness, he shouldn't have won Suzuka. Like,
he shouldn't have really even got pole. That was a case where he put in the consistent good lap. Both Oscar and Lando made mistakes on their last laps. And if they had both been on their game completely, he wouldn't have got pole. He would have been P3. Like, the Red Bull, in a lot of cases, isn't winning by being the fastest car. It's winning by capitalizing when the McLarens aren't perfect.
Yeah. And, I mean, Max finished 4th this weekend?
Yeah.
I can't remember how far behind Russell, but Russell was like 32 seconds off of...
I think Max was like 2-ish seconds behind George.
Okay, so like, let's say like Max was like 35 seconds off of McLaren's. Okay, off of the McLaren's. Like, that's huge for Max Verstappen, you know? So if Max is struggling that much in a race where last year he was essentially supposed to win it, if not for like the fluke safety car incident, you know, that speaks volumes about where that car is at. And as I said, it sort of bolsters Yuki's case for remaining there because it is not the driver, it is the car. It's something I'm sure that Toto will grins in his sleep every night about because it was like, I was right, but yes, it's just like,
yeah, the car is not where it was last year. I think further away even than maybe the end of last year. It was more nip and tuck then. It was winning races to an extent, not as much. And I feel like I looked at Max's 2024. It was very like podium P6. Even I also, since I don't know how far back, like the latter third of 2024, Max has had up until now a streak where he gets a podium and then he doesn't get a podium and then he gets a podium and then he doesn't get a podium and he gets like so he should be on for a podium in Imola basically. But that's like the Red Bull is not consistent when it is okay.
I'm just thinking now, you know, there's that meme of like all the former Red Bull drivers, and that started with like Liam this year at the beginning of the year. It would be like, it was Checo and Daniel and Alex and like all of them in the clouds, and they're like, come join us, Liam, come join us. Did you see that meme?
Yeah.
Did you ever see it? Yeah. So I'm just in my head, I'm picturing all of those same drivers with Liam now, and they're saying to Christian, come join us, Christian, come join us. Like, because how like the poetry of Christian Horner being replaced mid-season would be brilliant. Like,
it would be so good.
Like, if karma is real, like that will happen because that would be the greatest thing like to happen to that man. Just to be I'm gonna
really try to manifest this. I'd like to say, just think, would Ollie Oakes have resigned so quickly and easily if he had no prospects in the future? Maybe there really is something. Maybe they've been having talks. Like, maybe he was like, great, I'm done here.
There's also people within Red Bull that could step up, you know. Like, it's not that Red Bull is like lacking talent. I feel like they lack direction, but they don't lack talent. And, you know, you could easily see, I know we've mentioned Marco leaving or whatever already, or dying, whatever, but like you could very much see like a Sebastian Vettel coming in to fulfill that sort of legacy role within the team of like a former driver who's there to help sort of And I feel like his role would be more expansive than like a Helmut Marko, not a team principal role, but like the sort of special advisor and sort of talent scout for the future, coupled with, let's say, an Ollie Oakes as team principal. All of a sudden, really that Red Bull dynamic shifts entirely in like a much more what's the word? Like, I don't want to say compassionate, but like
logical?
No, like it is kind of compassion, but like it's more supportive. It's more for the drivers in the team, you know. It gives the drivers a confidence in the team that the team is working for a greater goal, not just for personal political pride, you know. And I think that dynamic is a big thing that's plagued Red Bull for many, many years. You know, and it's probably a big reason why someone like Daniel Ricciardo left. Well, my computer's saying I need to plug it in. Sorry, I forgot to plug it in this whole time. I thought it was plugged in. Whoops. Yeah, but also our half an hour podcast has just reached 1 hour and 1 minute.
I know.
So
I was just thinking
we do want to
we have no. It's when it's just us two. We just can't stop yapping.
I know.
It's so bad.
But
it's never ending.
I mean, like, yeah. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know if is anyone in the comments wanting to say anything? I don't even know if anyone's still watching the stream.
Dude, I wonder if your charging cord makes you lag more.
How many views do we have?
5 right now.
At the moment. Like 2.
5. Not the... I swear to God, if it's the charging cord... I think your charging cord makes your laptop worse.
Did I just get kicked off again? Yeah.
You died, yeah, majorly.
I mean,
does it use more energy when it charges?
Best, like, my internet.
Oh, it's the
maybe
internet.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's probably the internet, but yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
I think we have covered everything and more.
And we've run out of luck when it comes to like my computer plus internet issues, because this is the best connection we've had in like as I moved to Japan. So
yeah, it's been pretty good for at least 55 minutes.
Like just quit while we're ahead.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's decent for my computer. That's really good.
Yeah,
it's like an over 90% like success rate right there. Let's celebrate the small wins. But yeah. But before we go, I do just want to show everyone this amazing thing that I got on the weekend. Look, I haven't opened it out of the box yet, but I'm going to show everyone. This is Jenson Button's Brawn GP car. Look at it. It's so perfect. I know it's reversed the image, so it doesn't look right. But there's the 22. There's the 22.
Beautiful.
And I'm just so happy I found it. I found it
It's the right way around, you know.
Well, not a for you. For me, it's backwards.
Oh, for me, it's
writing's
forwards.
Backwards for me. That's so weird. I wonder why it does that.
Weird.
Anyway,
am I backwards?
Yeah, so
I put myself forwards anyway. I'm questioning everything.
So I found it at a little secondhand shop in Yamagata City on the weekend, and I walked in there and there was this like pile of F1 car models, and I was just like, oh, let's have a look and see what's there, you know. And I was hoping to actually, I wasn't even suspecting this would be there. I was looking for, because I saw they had some like older cars like from the 60s, and I was looking for that Honda is it like the R272 or something like that? You know, the one that Yuki drove at Goodwood Festival of Speed?
Yeah.
That one with like the iconic 11 on it. I was looking for that, and I thought, oh, maybe they have that because they had some like old Ferraris and stuff from the 60s. And I was looking through, and I just see this like little flash of yellow, and I was like, oh, I know that yellow. And to like 15 years ago for Christmas, my mother went to buy me one of these, okay, for Christmas. and she got to the shop. They had one left, and the guy in front of her bought it.
No.
Okay, and I'd never seen them for sale in South Africa ever again. She ended up getting me Jensen's McLaren car instead, which I still have and I love dearly. It's still back home in South Africa. I couldn't bring it with me to Japan, and I love that car, but I always wanted the Braun. And I've been like, it's been like, I was like, if my mom had gotten there 5 minutes earlier, and like she felt so bad because she's like, she almost had it, you know, it was like right there, and then the guy in front of her took it, and she was like, damn. So yeah, and I'd never seen it for sale again in South Africa. So to see this, it was like a dream come true. I've waited literally 15 years to get that car, and I found it, and I'm just so happy. So yes, everyone, believe in your dreams, they can come true.
Oh, it's a nice car.
Next one, I want Yuki's. I need Yuki's Miami for the internet. Too much joy for the internet. I want Yuki's Miami car, and I want Yuki's Suzuki car from this year.
Yes, and yes, and yes. Yeah, I need to start buying car models. I haven't bought any, but I need to. I'd get the Monaco McLaren, I think.
This is my third one. I have like a Williams from the mid 2000s. I have Jensen's McLaren, and now I've got Jensen's Braun. So now I need some Yuki cars, and then I'm happy.
Yes. Get a Yuki Red Bull. The only car model I've seen out in the
we've now run out of things to talk about.
I saw but last year when I was in America in Seattle, I saw just in this car shop, no other F1 cars, Red Bull Sergio Perez. I think this was right after he got dropped as well. So,
do you know what? I was at a toy shop yesterday as well, not the secondhand shop, and they had there was a whole section of cars. So I was like looking. You never know what you're gonna find. You know, I've also been looking for an Optimus Prime truck for K. You know, I'm just like seeing if I could find one, because I did see one, but it's super expensive. So I didn't buy that. But then I did see 2 Red Bulls. One was like the standard livery, and the other one was the white bull from, I think it was Turkey a few years ago or something like that.
2020.
Yeah. And I think, no, hold on. It said 33, not 11. 33 is max, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as it
was 2020, he was running the 33.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't know why I thought. I'm just realizing now. No, it was 33, not 11.
Check, it wasn't there in 2020.
Anyway, I saw that. So it's sorry, that story is completely pointless now because it's not about Checo at all. But anyway, if you are a Max Verstappen fan and you live in the Yamagata area and you want to get some cool white bull figurines, the Toys R Us at Aeon Mall in Yamagata has them. So
lovely. Well,
here we go.
Public service announcement.
There we go. Also, okay. I would tell you where the second-hand shop is, but I have no idea where it is. I don't know that area at all. I tried to find another second-hand shop I'd gone to a couple weeks ago, and I got completely lost. So, yeah, sorry.
We should probably end it.
I think so. I think we've successfully gone off the edge. News
and you get model car talk.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay, so... it looks like the traffic jam is for good for Jack Doohan, but maybe Ollie Oakes can get out of that jam and head over to Red Bull. Who knows? And let's hope that Flavio Briatore ends up in a ditch. So that's all from us. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and leave a like. It really does help. And you can follow us on Twitter at Traffic Paradiso. And also on other places, possibly, who knows.
That's so dead though, don't even bother.
We also have a Discord. You can chat to us in our Discord server.
We're active on the Discord, at least.
Yes. And yeah, chat to us on Twitter or Discord, and make sure you're subscribed because we will have another video for you on Sunday for the Imola predictions.
Indeed. And I'm sure some people are going to go for the Franco Colapinto wildcard. So wait and see what those will be.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so all that's left to say is have a good rest of your day or night. Bye-bye.
Bye.